Welcome to Take 5. I'm your host, Wanda Williams. Today, my guest is Liz Brown, who's running for Alderwoman in the 7th District of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She has beauty, she has brains. That could be dangerous. Let's get started. Welcome back to Take 5. My guest today is a very beautiful, intelligent, in the community, on the front line, Miss Liz Brown.
Yes.
Girl, welcome to the show.
Queen.
Oh, I am so
proud to be here.
Thank you. I'm proud of you. But I remember the first time I interviewed you.
Yes.
You was outside.
I was.
And I was interviewing you from my house. I had a connection where I can all
Skype
over the country.
Kinda.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you was at a women's march, getting ready to do the women's. What was that?
Organizing.
Yeah, you were
for
organizing.
The women's march. Yes.
You was on the go.
We were on the go. We was definitely on the go. It was actually a meeting that was taking place, and I didn't want to not do our interview. So I was like, we're gonna take a break. I went outside and I did our interview.
Yeah. You look gorgeous too. Liz, what motivated you to run for office?
There was a need, especially in the 7th district. I decided to run because I tried several times to contact the current alderperson due to some issues in my neighborhood, streetwide.
Years ago, it was beautiful. The brick homes, the trees lining the streets.
Yes.
Fall was the most beautiful time of the year,
yes.
with the tree colors and everything was beautiful. And slowly it did evolve and change to the point to where it is now. And I'm not going to say it's horrible, but there's a lot of people in that area who really take pride in keeping their lawn up, keeping their houses up. They're trying to sustain in that area. Tell me a little bit about that.
For me, I just really feel like it's still beautiful. The greenery is awesome, like you said. The changes of the season, beautiful. Fall time, even just the fresh snow with the snow and the trees aligning the streets. It's still a beautiful place. It's a place where people do still take pride in their homes. But we do have the issues of big corporations that comes in and buy up these homes, because you remember that point in time where the market, the housing market, where a lot of people were going bankrupt. They had been in these loans that were set up for them to fail. So then you had a lot of corporations that come into the city that get these houses and then rent them out. And you see, traffic, sometimes drugs, or whatever coming through, and you have people that no longer live here, live outside the city, outside the state, that rent these homes out, and there's no pride being taken.
How does it feel to run for office?
Empowering. Tiresome. I guess nervous to an extent, but motivating. For me, running for office means so much to me because I feel like with all of the things that I've done, all the people I've met, all of the young people that I speak to on a daily, talking about not just speaking about it, but being about it. For me, running for office is a win-win, whether it's a win or not, because it's my ending to not only talking about it, but being about it. Showing my daughter and other individuals like me that have been the people, that have been active, that have spoken up. The next move is to put your money where your mouth is and put your name in the hat and be the difference that you've always talked about, to be the change that you feel the city deserves.
You're very inspiring.
Thank you.
When I first interviewed you, I noticed that you are a leader. You have to be a leader. You're a leader. And you're a great organizer too, a grassroots organizer, because I saw that you were organizing women to go on the marches and you had the kids marching for
violence,
and you had a lot of people out there, girl. There was a lot of mothers, kids, fathers.
The community
was out there. Come out there, girl, for you.
Well, it's one of those things too. We have to understand that everybody's tired. And people ask me all the time, like, Liz, why are you running? And I said, why not? Who better than me than to run? Because I am the people. That's my expertise is being the people. My expertise is speaking for those that don't have the courage to speak for themselves. So when I get invited to certain things or I hear about certain things, they don't have to ask me to come. I show up because I want to know. It's the know-how.
Keeping that information informed, keep yourself informed.
Period.
What's going on in my community?
Yes, because it's a part of my community. And if I don't like what's going on, you're going to see me, you're going to hear me, you're going to feel me.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. I know what that feels like. That's right. And it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Is it harder running because you're a woman and you're a beautiful woman?
I wouldn't say it's hard. I wouldn't say it's harder. With me, I think it's more about your mindset. Are you going to work harder or smarter? And I just really feel like as a community, if you're tagged into the right people, if you have the right support, nothing is hard.
Liz, what changes would you like to see in the 7th district?
The changes that I would like to see in the 7th district, first and foremost, is the substance. Again, the rebuilding of relationships inside of the community. The main idea is to come together as a community, again, as a family. We are having lack of communication with the youth, with the elders, with the police. The main goal, though, is to start at home. So making each other feel welcome and comfortable and having a conversation, getting together with other districts so we'll have like a blueprint together. If we act like a family, if that's the plan, then together we can change the city of Milwaukee one district at a time, but the separation has to end. We have to be able to have real life conversations about real life situations that's going to bring about a peace of mind that will eventually bring peace back into the communities, and understanding that we cannot build a community without rebuilding the Black family.
Liz, why is it important to vote in all the elections? I know we got the presidency and we have all these smaller elections, and the next time we're supposed to vote is on the
February 18th.
And that is for
the primary, to find out who the last two. So in the 7th district, there's 4 people that's running for this same seat. So when you vote on February 18th, that will lead to the general, and it'll knock it down to the last 2.
Okay.
And then the general will tell who's going to be the next alderperson.
Oh, wow.
Or the mayor.
So you had to vote 2 times basically to get the alderperson in your district.
Yes.
And the question that people have asked me on a regular, I don't know who's in my district. Correct. I don't know who's
running
or I've never met them before. I've never seen them. I don't know the names.
Right.
How can you overcome that?
The key is education and understanding that at some point we have to get back to what it was that Martin Luther King and the civil rights, we have gotten really laxed. So we have to understand too that it's accountability for ourselves and our families and our children, because what we don't know will not only be the death of us, will be the death of democracy. It's very important to understand and look up, because we're in the era of technology.
Oh, yes.
And all you have to do is Google, what district is my address 4225 North 45th Street? Or go to the Milwaukee City Hall website and look up, click resident, and then go down the list on what it is that you're looking for. If not, the bottom line is ask somebody to ask somebody. And again, that's where neighboring come into play, because a lot of my neighbors have been there years. And so when you ask them, they know
Oh, wow.
Who's the alder person?
Okay.
What the alder person does? Who's the mayor? Who's the county exec? It's time for us to educate ourselves. And it's so very important. We feel like the presidential election is the big one. But no.
Yeah.
If you want to see change day to day, what you see when you go outside of your house, when you go to these schools, it's the local election that is the biggest election. Your alder person is the person that speaks for you at City Hall, that tells you the funds that is allocated for our streets, for our schools. Your alder person is the person that speaks for you when they're in these rooms making these deals, because if we're not in the room, then we're on the menu. And this is why your alder person is so very important, because their day-to-day decisions change our day-to-day lives.
Liz, is there voter suppression in Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
Yes, there is.
And can you give me a couple of examples? Or
voter suppression. Let's talk about the trickery and the foolery of voter suppression. That's you need an ID. We're talking about individuals right now in the state of Wisconsin, 230,000 voters were sent out a piece of mail. If they didn't respond to that mail, then they're automatically erased from the voters registration. That meaning they can't just go and vote, they would have to re-register. So that's I consider trickery and foolery. And we have to understand that when you state, oh, my vote don't matter, oh, my vote don't count, if your vote didn't count, why all the foolery? Why the suppression? I tell people all the time, when you see things like this, 230,000 votes, then you have to ask your question, the common sense question. If my vote didn't matter, why are they trying so hard to stop me? Because your vote matters. Your vote matters, whether how much money is given or divvied for your children to go to college. Your vote matters when it comes to what the mayor does with your money, when it comes to the schools, when it comes to policing, when it comes to your streets, when it comes to youth programs that are allocated for the city of Milwaukee. Your vote matters, and the suppression of your vote should make you want to even vote even harder, because that eliminates any thoughts that you had that your vote don't matter.
You know, I was watching the presidential debates, and one of the candidates said, we're going to get rid of welfare. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I thought there wasn't no welfare. Is there welfare in Wisconsin?
Queen, yes, there is welfare. It's called W-2 or temporary assistance, of whatever you call that, and then there's SNAP. W-2 is a program where it's supposed to be teaching individuals job skills, readiness skills, and they work for, I think $6 or $7 an hour, which would add up to allocate, I think, a check of $673 a month, which rent is $700. So I don't know how that works. However, yes, there is welfare, there is W-2, and for them to state that they want to get rid of it and then the crowd goes wild, the bottom line is it's due to welfare that broke down the black family.
Liz, let's talk about the unrest that happened. How long ago was that in Sherman Park? God. How long ago was that?
Was it 4 years?
Has it been 4 years? It seemed like it was just yesterday sometime.
It does seem like it was just
yesterday. It wasn't that long ago, but if you go in the community to see that the things have been rebuilt and things of that nature. Were you out there? That's your neighborhood.
Yeah.
So was you?
Me and my daughter actually was out there.
And tell us what happened.
I mean, it was traumatizing. It was uplifting at first, because the Sherman Park unrest was really, the last cry for help. I mean, we have in the city of Milwaukee so many issues. There's so many fires burning, the 7 alarm, that we can't get to all of them. But it's one of those things when you're tired of begging, when you're just tired of being tired, action comes into play. You know, it's people being fed up, it's people being unheard for so long, and then it's like, the best analogy I can give you is that soda that's in a can and is just being shook. It's just being shook viciously. And I'm talking about to a point of you can feel the fizz in the cans because it's being shooken so hard and nobody is really paying attention. Just like, get over it. We're being overlooked. We're being underprivileged. We're being treated less than. We're being walked over. We're being walked on. So for me, the Sherman Park thing, it came at the end or right in the middle of hands up, don't shoot. We had so many black men that were being killed by the police with their hands up in the air. Just like currently, black children are being gunned down from the back. There's no threat. If you shoot them in their back, they're trying to flee. So we have to understand that the unrest was a cry, the last cry for help.
What about the revitalization of the 7th District? Because that's what you're going to be responsible for. What has gone on since the so-called unrest?
Well, you know, they did some minor things. I mean, I wouldn't say the Sherman Phoenix, which is a beautiful
I've been
building.
there. It's beautiful.
Oh, it is good. The ambiance of it is just, you know, a shop where a lot of minority women, black women, have their business inside of the Sherman Phoenix, and a lot of entrepreneurship is happening inside that one building. So I would like to see that surrounding not only in the 7th District, the 6th, the 5th, want to see more entrepreneurship. Because we as black people are considered super consumers.
We are.
But it's a new day that's dawning, and we need to be super entrepreneurs.
Thank you.
We want the city of Milwaukee's north side to look like the city of Milwaukee's south side, upper east side. That's where we're going to bring in the peace of mind, first of all, because we can't bring businesses in if we're feeling unsafe. So, and I think that's we should start with the peace of mind of me and you being a neighbor and coming together. And I recall being young and having block parties.
Oh yeah, I remember those. Yeah,
you know, getting
off
together.
The streets,
exactly,
nice.
where there's things for the kids. There's adult music.
You get to know everybody.
You get to know everybody by name and face.
Yes.
You know, and bring that sense of security back to each of us individually. That would also build an ambiance in the community that will calm the city and make businesses want to come in.
Liz, you and your daughter China have your own radio show. Tell me about that.
So me and my daughter on WGOB Gospel Radio started a radio show called The Power Hour.
Ooh.
Which we talk about informative things that we learned about on our own, like meetings, the city council meetings, the budget meetings, that we give information to the community because we found that we wasn't getting the information that we needed, which was another reason why I decided to run, because a lot of the things that's going on in our city, if we don't have knowledge of it, how do we change it? How do we speak about the issues in the city? So me and my daughter decided to do the Power Hour, and it was basically around the children's books that me and my daughter write, the Lizzie B, the Busy Bee books that speaks about child molestation, human sex trafficking, absentee parenting. Like, we talk about the things that sometimes are hard to speak about, so we wrote the books to be an icebreaker, to have those tough conversations that we need to have to bring about change.
Liz, I want to thank you so much for coming on Take 5. You gave us so much good information. Oh my goodness, it's just like this. You're a fountain of information, a fountain of truth, a fountain of awareness, and community, and I'm gonna have to say this, love.
Thank you.
I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Queen.
I'd like to thank my guests again, Liz Brown, running for Alderwoman in the 7th District. Now, you need to remember these 2 dates. The dates are February 18th, where that's going to be the runoff, and you'll choose 2 of the candidates to run. And then April 7th is the day that you vote for who you want out of the 2 candidates. And I wish her luck. I wish everybody luck. Thank you for joining us again on Take 5. Much love.